It's with a heavy heart that I share this final video for my beloved husband, Steve. Over the last 14 years, I've had the privilege of witnessing an incredible journey, one of love, resilience, and courage. In 2010, Steve was diagnosed with brain cancer, a diagnosis that changed everything. But even in the face of that heartbreaking news, Steve showed us all what it meant to fight. He fought with every ounce of his being, enduring over 50 surgeries and countless medical complications. Yet never once did he complain. He faced each challenge with an attitude that was nothing short of inspiring. If you asked Steve how he was doing, his answer was always the same: great. Steve was a warrior, a quiet, simple, and extraordinary man. For over 14 years, he faced brain cancer with strength and grace, a true testament to resilience. He never allowed his illness to define him, choosing instead to live each day with a vibrant spirit. He embraced life fully, appreciating every moment and extending compassion to everyone he met. His love for his family was boundless, a constant source of warmth and comfort. He never stopped fighting, never stopped loving, and never gave up on those around him. He taught us all to cherish each moment, to be kind to others, and to never take life too seriously. But now my heart is shattered as I share that Steve has earned his wings. He fought until the very end, demonstrating the unwavering courage of a true champion. His spirit will live on, forever in my heart. Steve's final days became a profound test of strength and love. When Steve was moved from ICU to a regular room, I felt a mixture of hope and concern. His condition had stabilized, and the doctors were optimistic, but I couldn't help but feel uneasy. There were no constant monitoring systems, and the nurses checked his vitals every few hours. Steve had to have an aide in the room as he kept touching his oxygen tube, feeding tube, and catheter. Still, despite all the changes and challenges, Steve continued to show his strength. That night, I got the call that Steve's lung had collapsed and he was back in ICU. It hit me like a wave. The shock was overwhelming, but I knew that Steve had the heart of a fighter. My son and I hurried to the hospital where they had to insert a tube into his lung. When we left at 1 a.m, I felt relieved to be heading home. But when I called the nurse in the morning, she told me he'd had a difficult night. The doctor called and said she felt Steve was suffering. My son and I rushed back to the hospital before 7 a.m, feeling completely powerless. However, when we finally reached his room, Steve was still hanging in there. I sat beside him, telling him how much I loved him, how proud I was of his strength, and how grateful I was for every moment we had together. The doctors had made their decision, and we felt it was time to let go. But before anything was done, Steve told us he wanted a cup of coffee. I had asked him if he was in pain. He told me no. To me, that was not the voice of someone who was ready to leave this world. They administered high doses of Percocet continuously, all day and night, then added fentanyl. Several doses of it, but nothing seemed to change. His vitals stayed the same, and I kept talking to him, playing our wedding song, "Hold Me in Your Arms" by Whitney Houston. As he lay in the bed, I held him close and pretended we were dancing together. I stayed up most of the night, wanting to spend every minute with him. We listened to music that he loved: Lynyrd Skynyrd, Tom Petty, the Allman Brothers, Little Feat, Living Colour, Blues Traveler, and so many other great bands. We played country music, sad songs, love songs, including Lionel Richie's love song, Lady and Truly. Every time I played music, his numbers improved. When I put on Freebird, the numbers went so high, but I knew it would because Steve loved that song. Even if it was for a moment, we weren't ready just yet to let go. Eventually, the nurse administered more fentanyl to help him rest, and gradually, his vital signs began to stabilize. They lowered the oxygen levels, and I leaned in close, whispering to him, "You fought so hard, and now it's okay to rest. I love you, and I'll always be here for you. I love you, always and forever." At 8:50 a.m., Steve took his final breath, and I held him tightly, finding it almost impossible to let go. Steve was a hero. He faced down brain cancer, multiple surgeries, and countless battles with strength, grace, and a heart full of love. He never gave up. He never complained. He lived his life with courage, and his greatest wish was always to be with family. He is and will always be a warrior. As I say goodbye to my soulmate, I can't help but feel immense pride for the man he was. Even in his final moments, Steve showed us all what it meant to fight until the very end. Please leave a comment to honor Steve's memory and share your love for him. I know he would have been so touched by all the support. Steve's legacy is one of love, strength, and resilience. We can all learn so much from the way he lived his life. His motto was always simple, but powerful. Be kind, don't judge, and take life one day at a time. He had this incredible joy every morning when he woke up that was filled with gratitude just for being alive. Every day was a gift to him, and his will to live, his zest for life, shone through in everything he did. He never took a moment for granted. His heart was always full, and that spirit, his unwavering love for life, will stay with me forever. Now, I find comfort in knowing that he's in God's embrace, at peace, surrounded by love and light, where he will forever be cherished. Thank you for being part of our journey.